So today we will just have a brief overview of what's new, what's great, what's good with the new Luxriot Evo 119, and this will be the follow it up with some demonstration of the features. So first of all, the version contains the many great features brought up. I will start with the minor ones. So first of all, there's an export and import for visual themes. So visual themes is just a way to customize the monitoring environment look. There you can customize colors, change fonts, and so on. So I will show you how it works later on. There's been a couple of buttons added on the active layouts in the Evo monitor. So now you've got the browser-like behavior with the back and forth. So if you've done something wrong with your layout, you can just simply click backwards and it will go back before you made some changes. On the administration tool side, there's an option to enforce the hide password, so the operators will be forced to log in each time with the password, so they cannot save the password to log in without it. There's been just some housekeeping item, the on-with bulk channels added. So if you added just the bulk several on-with channels, you can just bulk edit all of them. For another housekeeping item, the events and actions configurator now has the expand and collapse buttons, so to keep all this stuff in order, and the channel name revert to device name. So if just in case while making the setup you've made something wrong with the device names and the channel names, there will be a button to actually name the channel associated with device accordingly. Just small housekeeping stuff. But the major updates will include the new Alarm Panel, EVA, or simply Evo Video Analytics engine, EVA Rules. So what are the rules which you can apply on the video analytics, and the other one which sits somewhere in the back there, playback after track selection. So just imagine you've got the recordings distributed amongst several places, which is quite common for systems with failover or archive replication, or with the on-with profile G H device recordings. So you don't have to worry where the actual recording comes from, so all will be assigned automatically, and you will get the smooth and solid playback. Doesn't matter where the actual source video comes from. By the way, for those who haven't been familiar with this, Evo also includes the GPU decoding nowadays, and this can utilize your GPU. Even the inbuilt Intel graphical coprocessor, Intel HD graphics, it also counts as a GPU, and even been enabled, so it can gain the performance on the monitoring side up to 50%. Depends on how many cameras you're actually displaying, but for the large systems this is I would say definitely a huge boost in performance. So we can give it a try. So let me just jump towards my monitoring interface. So here in tools we've got the GPU configuration wizard. So if you click on that, just wait for a few seconds for it to pop up. If you run this for the first time, those tick boxes will be grayed out, so not be available. You have to click the test GPUs. The system will test your available GPUs through, and then you actually have those tick boxes, so it will display what's available in your system. So for my NVIDIA GeForce, both H.264 and H.265 are available, and I definitely decided to click those. And as you can see on top of there, every video port, now I see the NVIDIA. So NVIDIA says that this channel has been decoded by the GPU. So it lowers their workload on their main CPU unit. So if we'll get back towards the presentation, the main topic for today will be EVA Video Analytics, or simply EVA. So in general, what's EVA? It's a combination of EVA engine, EVA rules, and events and actions. So everything you can do with this. As for the availability, both basic engine and basic rules are available starting the current edition 1.19, which is already on our website available. And we will expand the rules on the upcoming releases. I will get back to details later on. There will be EVA Advanced engine with more capabilities, but it will come in upcoming releases. So version 1.19 contains only the basic engine and the basic rules. Before we start discussing the actual capabilities, so it's important to note that what it will not do. So the EVA engine, both the basic and advanced, it will not do objects left removed. So first of all, because EVA is the neural network based engine, so it cannot handle the exact objects, because neural networks has to be trained for how the object looks like, and we cannot train it to know what will be the object which will be left or removed. So all the video analytics which handle the objects left removed, those are the motion based analytics, not the neural networks. So we simply cannot include this into EVA. The other thing which is important to note, the EVA is not designed for handling the high-speed traffic analysis. I will show you later on how it looks like and what's the limitations actually. Those will be available through the Evo LPR Advanced in some upcoming future releases. But okay, so what it does. So the root and the core of EVA is its engine. So it detects and classifies different objects on the video streams, and those objects are people, vehicles with different subtypes, cars, buses, trucks, bikes or motorbikes, trains, boats, or even aircrafts. And some other objects. Now includes just some few animals over there, cats, dogs, and horses. But I would not really recommend to get those on the high security projects, because definitely it's not what the security guards are usually looking for. And it provides also some minor attribution for the classified objects. So it provides the object similarity, so the system knows is this the same object or it's something new. And it provides also some information on the movement direction, so we can create the directional based rules. So now it's time for hands-on. Let's jump towards the console first. Here's my console. Here's my channels, video channels. So how to apply video analytics towards each channel. So you can just double click or simply click edit on the channel, and here we've got the section which is called video analytics, obviously. So if we will go there, what we can do, we can first of all enable or disable the analytics by itself, which is fine. So which is self-explaining. The other settings which are available, so use low resolution stream if available. First of all, the basic neural network works on the lower resolution. So even if you've got like 60 megapixel cameras, okay, not 60, maybe 5 megapixel camera, so it will be downscaled anyways. So it's highly recommended to use the low resolution stream if available. So just keep this box, and this will just slightly decrease the load on the CPU. The other tick box is enable metadata display. Obviously, so if it's disabled, the video analytics will continue to work. It will just not show the bounding boxes and other stuff. So for the large monitoring centers, it's not always necessary to display this metadata. So you just have to make the video analytic works and not to distract operators with all the flashy bounding boxes around. The next one is the classes. So classes are the types of objects which will be detected and classified and applied later on towards the rules. If you click change, you can have all of the available classes in here, or you just can select just one, say car and the person. The other important thing is the detection interval. This is the period of time between two consequent detections in milliseconds. So the 200 means that the system will perform the detection and classification 5 times per second. Just because all the video analytics, all the neural networks, they work with the iframes. They don't. They just keep p frames because they do not contain enough information. In some system, it doesn't make sense to keep this low. Why? Because even if you state in here just 10 milliseconds, so it will be roughly 100 detections per second. It will not improve the performance anyhow because of the limited number of iframes available from the video stream. So by default it's set on 200, and this means the system will try to perform 5 detections per second. It greatly affects the load on the CPU because so each detection it's quite resource thirsty action. So in some circumstances this number can be increased, so the system will perform less detections. So I will show you shortly how it looks like. The second parameter which we can modify is the object loss timeout. So this is just the period of time in seconds for how long system will try to keep the object as the same one. So imagine the car arrived on the certain parking area, just stopped over there. After 6 seconds, the system will lost interest in this parking car because it will be just the same object, so it will just keep it. Then the scene dynamics. This is the just raw expectation of how dynamic this scene will be. So on high traffic applications where there will plenty of objects, or not plenty, just some of objects which can move fast across the scene, definitely the dynamics has to be set on high rate. If in another case, if you're monitoring just the backyard where you don't expect someone will be running 60 miles per hour across your backyard, definitely you can decrease this, and this also affects the load on the CPU. The confidence threshold, which is quite obvious, so how confident the system has to be to classify the object. So if you lower the threshold, you might face some misclassification. So some certain objects can be misclassified because of the lower threshold. And if you put this at the 100%, so the system has to be 100% sure that this object is a person. So there can be situations when the analytics will miss some of the objects, so I would just advise to keep it by default. And the object similarity threshold, so on each detection, system will try to compare the detected and classified objects with the objects being previously detected in order to see, is this the same object or is this something new? And this is the threshold for a system to decide, is this the new object, or it was like something which has been previously detected. Object maximum size, just to make some certain restrictions, so it's on the percentage of the overall screen size. So 50 by 50 means the object cannot occupy more than a quarter of the image. This is just for the like false alarm, false detection filtering. So this is pretty it with the basic settings which you can do with the video analytics. But these are not the rules. This is just detection and classification. If we will jump back towards the screen, so in here we haven't got any particular rules, so it's just with the so it's just detection and classification, so those guys being detected and classified. Let's get back towards the presentation there. What it will do in the future, because this is just the very first release, so we released just the bare minimum. We will aim to improve this towards the better detection and classification, so we will definitely decrease the resources consumption with the engine. We will try to improve the engine in order to be able to detect smaller objects and in order to be able to handle more objects. But I believe the main one is just to decrease the resource consumption, so we can run more video analytics channels on the same hardware. We will be looking to add more object attributes. Those, as for now, those being defined as the colors. So upper body color, lower body color, the vehicle colors, protective equipment detection, which simply means, you know, hard hats, the high visibility vests, and probably gloves, and temporal attributes. So temporal attributes means add time as a parameter, so how long the objects have been detected, how long it had been tracked. So this is the one which we missed for loitering at this point. So loitering cannot be applied at this point, so it will require some temporal attributes. And the next step also will be to enable the GPU utilization. So definitely we can use the power of modern GPUs to flow their video analytics on them, so we can run much more channels with better performance. But those are like for the future releases, so it's not included into the current release. So EVA rules. Okay, we've got the object being detected, being properly classified. So what we can do with these objects? We can create rules. There are two groups of rules, line rules, and each rule is also the object class related, so we can define which classes of the detected objects will trigger the rule. And line rules include line crossed, just doesn't matter in which direction, so just an object crossed the line, or line crossed in particular direction, from left to right or from right to left, from A to B, and vice versa. And thus we can also enable their proper counting. And the other group of rules is the zone rules, also object classes related, so different classes of objects can be can trigger those rules or can be ignored. And those include zone being entered, zone being left, the object appeared in the zone, and object disappeared in the zone. So what's the difference between entered and appeared? Zone entered means the object has been detected and classified outside of the zone, and suddenly it crossed the zone border, so it enters the zone. And vice versa, the object being detected inside the zone and then crossed the border of the zone from inwards to outside. Object appeared, the something has been detected inside the zone. Doesn't really matter if the object crossed the zone border or not. So just something appeared inside the zone, and something disappeared, so something just being detected inside the zone and suddenly disappeared. And for future, for the next release, we will keep the also loitering, so the certain objects stayed inside the zone for a certain amount of time, and the attribute-based rules, so the zone rules can also include the attributes. As I said, those will be colors, temporal attributes, or protective equipment. So let's have a look at how it looks like on real life. So first of all, in regards to the limitations, in here I've got the bad example for the scene of the video analytics. First of all, the camera is awfully positioned for the video analytics because half of the screen is occupied by sky, which is absolutely useless. And then the other challenge is we've got plenty of objects, and some of them are really fast moving. Especially it's really visible on the right side of the screen, where we've got different cars and vehicles moving towards us. Those been moving too fast, and this creates the improper bounding boxes positioning and just weird behavior. So as I said, the limitation is this video analytics is not designed for high-speed traffic applications, but it can be utilized with a certain extent. So here's another example. So it's just a crop of part of the image from the previous video. So, and as you can see, we've got the vehicles being properly detected and classified. There's still probably some minor mismatch with bounding boxes and vehicles, but in general it works quite fine and quite reliable. If we'll jump back towards the settings, okay, let's grab the certain channel, go towards the video analytics. So I've got this set up. Here are the zones and rules. So here is where we apply different zones and rules. How we create the zone? First of all, there are 3 small buttons on top of this. Unfortunately, they haven't got yet the pop-up explanation, but the first one is the display for different counters or different other textual information. The second one is the line rule, and the third one is the zone rule. How to make them work? So you just drag and drop those towards the screen, and then you can just adjust them. In here we've got the line with some small arrows, A and B. Those points towards different directions, so we can position this anywhere how we like. So here's the line by itself. By default, it does not contain any rules. To add a rule, we have to click this button, New Rule, and we just added, you see, the line 5, and we've got by default the event is the line being crossed AB, so it means the line being crossed in either direction. or the line can be crossed from A to B, from B to A, sorry, and just crossed. So line being crossed doesn't mean doesn't really matter which direction has been utilized. And here we can select the class. For this camera, we've got the video analytics enabled for the class type person, nothing else. If we enable video analytics for all the classes, we can tick all the boxes. But for this camera, we got just person. Okay, so we created the rule which will trigger an event if line being crossed in any direction by a person. So that's pretty it. Or we can add a zone in here, so we can just adjust it, and it doesn't really matter. We can add the rule towards the zone, and here's the event. So zone being entered, zone being left, zone something appeared in the zone, something disappeared inside the zone. Okay, zone being entered by a class person. Here you go. So we now we've got the event if someone being classified as a person will cross this zone, so it will enter the zone from outside towards inside. So basically that's pretty it. And there, the third button which I missed there, to display the counter information. So if we've got some certain counters in the system, we can also display them in this image. Here I've got all the counters which have been enabled in my system. So I can select any of those, and it will be displayed in here. If you just done something wrong, you can definitely select this zone and just delete it, and all the associated rules will be deleted. So what I've got in here, so first of all I've got the zone which generates an event if something is appeared inside the zone, and this something is a person. Okay, so also I've got in here the counting line which generates an event if something crosses the zone, and that something is a person. So as you can see, I've got the guy who's constantly crossing the line back and forth. So that's and here I've got also a counter which is displayed in here. So the counter displays the how many times this line has been crossed. Okay, that's pretty it with the rules configuration. So let's jump towards the monitor and see how it works, how it looks like. See, here we've got the person being detected, crossed the line, and each time the person crossed the line, here we've got the counter. The counter will be increasing by 1. So let's wait for the guy for a couple of seconds. He will appear definitely. Hey, buddy. Okay, here he comes. Okay, just wait. Okay, line been crossed 2 times. So it was like 57 at the end, so now 59. I've got another example. This is the most famous cats counter. So here we've got this body is a cat, and here's somewhere the counting line which counts how many times this cat has been passing by. Okay, so it's now 21:23. Just wait for the guy. Okay, come on. Okay, so now 21:24. I also made the custom button here, reset cats counter. So if I just click this one, the counter will be resetted. The thing is that this counter is conditioned, so it has the extra condition, so it cannot be resetted if it has counted less than 10 cats. So it now has 1, it has 2. So if I click this button one more time, nothing will happen. So the counter will not be resetted. So we can create quite complex rules on this. Okay, so let's jump towards the presentation then. So the availability. So this has been released in version 1.19, available on our website. There's just one part number for the license, which adds one channel of the base video analytics. This channel includes the base engine for detection and classification, base rules, so line rules and zone rules, and there's no separate update plan, so all the updates for the video analytics will be included into the regular Evo support and update plan. Just mind that one channel of Evo base video analytics is always included free of charge. So even if you've got the free version of Evo, or doesn't really matter if you've got the Evo S or Evo Global, one channel is always included for free. The next one, which also combines all the what's been told previously, Evo Alarm Panel. So it just brings all the necessary alarms from any types of events all in one place, with plenty of selection and flexibility. Each alarm is represented by a certain bookmark, so it can be definitely easily found. It has some several severity levels, 5, from less important events to the most critical ones. It also includes the tracking for the progress by alarm status, so this new alarm is being looked at or it's been closed. It also has the ability for operators to add and read live comments, so they can be even chatting on those comments. Operators can acknowledge alarms, can close them, and they change the importance. So if something generates okay, so we've got our fence has been crossed and this is critical, someone just looked over there and said no, this is like our service guy, he should be there, so it's not like a critical alarm, just information. It provides the ability to easily switch to live or instant playback mode, so you can filter those by server, by channel, visual groups, importance, text, whatever, and this is kind of removable. So let's see how it works. So first of all, how it looks like. It sits on the right side of the screen in here, so it can be expanded, can be hidden. In order to enable it, you have to go to the Edit, Settings, Usability, and here you go. So Show Alarm Panel. Yeah, so this is a typo in here, so should be Show Alarm Panel. But if you just tick the box, you will get this nice alarm panel. But how to make the your events to appear in this? So I've got here, it's pretty much populated. Just let's try to reset the cats counter. So I've got the event, the cat counter has been resetted. So reference image, screenshot, I can instantly open it in live preview or go to instant playback. So if I go towards the instant playback, yes, so definitely I can see where the counter has been resetted. I can also change the severity level, so how important in this, so I can decide, oh, this is actually the high importance. And the status, okay, so it's been in progress or it's been closed. And I can also add there, it's just been regular reset, nothing new. So I add the comment over here, and everyone who will open this alarm will see my comments. How we can set this up and running? To do this, we have to jump towards the console back and go to events in action. This is certain action which creates the notification in the alarm panel. So if you jump towards the action, so we can select new action in here, and the action is done by the bookmark. So create bookmark. we can choose the title. This will be 1, 2, 3 go. So the target, so where it will be created, so it can be system wide or just for certain servers. I've got just one server in the system, and the bookmark title will be 1, 2, 3 go. We can place the description in here. Description can be done manually, of course, so you can put whatever you like, or it can be actually generated. So we can add the event source, okay, where it comes from, event source title, well, what was the camera, and the show the what actually happened. So action title doesn't really matter, so it can be automatically generated, and you can also insert some custom comments. So if this happened, so call the police. So that we can place this severity level. So how important is this one? So okay, let's do this of normal importance, nothing really significant. You can also request the user description. This will, in case of this type of alarm, it will pop up the certain window which will ask for the operator to add a certain description. You can also associate this with everything. Say in case if someone opened a door manually, probably through the integrated access control, you can also add this type of action, and each time the operator manually opens the door, he will get the pop-up window which will ask him for what was the reason actually, why have you done this, or you can just simply ignore this. Okay, we will add this for the training purposes, and the request timeout, how long this timeout, how long the operator will have an ability to enter this comment. I would say okay, 20 seconds should be enough, or it has to be the specific user who can do this. In my system I obviously have no specific users, but you can request the operators or a supervisor to enter this comment. And the most important thing, the tiny checkbox in here, create alarm. If you will not tick this box, this alarm will not appear on your alarms panel. We will tick this box, so we will have the action which will create this type of event. Okay, but this action has to be associated with something. So what will create this type of action? Okay, let's see what we've got. We can open the configurator, and those are the housekeeping items, so we can collapse all this stuff. Everything will be sorted by the things. Okay, so let's say we want this button, manual alarm, to create this type of action. The source can be also the video analytics. Of course, I will show you how it works, and we have to associate the action. So okay, so click on the manual alarm button, so we will have the 1, 2, 3 go, and I will get rid of this one. Okay, so each time I will click the manual alarm button, it will create this type of thing, and we can also associate the channel. Okay, let's do it with our nice cat, and we can add the conditions, the schedules, the delay timer. So but this will be the topic for the discussion on probably one of the next webinars, where we will have a detailed look on the events and actions. So here we go. We can jump towards the scene, and we've got this manual alarm button. here's the panel. I will click. Okay, so here I've got to enter the comment. I can save it. We can have a look at this. So as we see, this is the automatically generated description. So the source was 1 to 5. I don't really know what that means. The name of the source was manual alarm. A manual alarm is the custom button, and the action was 1, 2, 3, go, which is this exactly this, and their description is call the police. So okay, police is on their way. Good, and I can close this one. What we can do with this alarm panel? First of all, we can search the obviously. So if I search it by go, we can easily find it. Yeah, so there's been just one event with the go inside. If I type cat, okay, so we've got two cat count has been resetted. If we search for the mask, okay, we've got plenty of mask associated events from in here. Or we can just simply left it blank. Or we also have the filter. Filter is pretty extensive, so we also can filter by text. We can filter by severity level. So let's get rid of all the important alarms and just get the informational level. So, and all the informational level alarms here in the system is been just cat count has been resetted. Or we can just show all the critical alarms, and those been quite few. We can filter only the closed alarms. Okay, no closed alarms, no progress, so plenty of those. If we filter this by the cat, so it will show all the associated cat alarms, but I want to see those being closed, and this is just one. And you also can filter those by the channel groups or servers or whatever, system-wide. So it's pretty flexible. You can also reset this always and just show all the alarms which will be there, and you can hide the filter. So each time you've got an event, you can obviously click on this, and you'll get there. Okay, so here's the what's been happening. Okay, so that's pretty much it.